Sustainability Impact Award 2026, an initiative of Misset International, recognizes and promotes innovative, sustainable solutions within the animal feed sector. Wageningen Livestock Research has been nominated with their ANCA tool, which was developed together with Wageningen Plant Research. Annual Nutrient Cycle Assessment is a tool that maps nutrient flows on Dutch dairy farms and helps farmers optimize their environmental performance. Hi Michel.
Hello.
What challenge in dairy farming led to the development of the ANCA tool?
Well, dairy farming was often considered as a uniform, one-size-fits-all business. And we learned from projects like Cows and Opportunities and this very experimental farm, the Marke, that farm results could vary greatly between all the farms. And that really depends on the circumstances, but even more on the farm management. So we learned that farm results could vary greatly between farms. And farmers want to be recognized for their farm-specific performances and also be rewarded for their farm-specific performances. Yes, and then, well, we had this bag system already, and we were really greatly inspired by the bag system. And the bag system, well, that was introduced like in 2006, where dairy farmers could prove what the actual manure production was, and if they could export less manure than they had to do with the governmental standards, like with table 6 from RVO. And well, in many cases that was possible. So we learned already that it's possible to manage with farm-specific performances with the bag system already. And the input and the output, well, that was accredited by the government. It was accepted by the government, so it became a governmental system. And that was a great inspiration for starting this kringloopwijzer system. Well, that's Dutch for the ANCA system.
And could you explain in simple terms how the tool works and what kind of data farmers receive?
Yeah, I can. I can explain it. I try to be brief. Well, it's mainly a calculation system. The system is calculating the environmental performances of a dairy farm. And then it's about manure production, it's about crop yield, it's about ammonia emissions, it's about greenhouse gas emissions, and it's about surpluses for nitrogen and phosphate, and it's about soil carbon. And that's what the system is calculating. And the system needs as input like animal numbers, information about the housing system, information about the feed, like we see over here, compound feed, and it's raw feed, that information about manure, information about fertilizer.
And what makes this tool unique compared to other sustainability and farm management tools?
Yeah, actually that's a valid question because it's not really difficult to make a software program and make all the calculations. And besides from the really grounded science that's behind it, it's well, the unique is the really great cooperation that we have with the dairy sector, and that's leading to several points. At first, that back in 2016, using this ANCA system became mandatory for the complete dairy sector. And that meant that also the dairy sector was building a central database where all the input data were stored and were used to fill out the system, the ANCA system. So with a maximum of automation, the ANCA system could be filled and could calculate environmental performances. That's really unique, and the next thing that's unique is that the dairy sector was using the system at first for learning, but the next step was for rewarding, paying bonuses to farmers that were showing really great performances. And then we have some other unique points. It's really aligned with the BEX system. Mm-hmm. And the BEX is I already mentioned, is a governmental instrument. And well, when it's aligned, it's accepted by the government, accepted by the industry and by the farmers. They know how it's calculating. And it's also aligned with the national calculation method of the national emissions, like for greenhouse gas emissions and ammonia emissions. It's aligned with the NEMA system that we have already.
Yeah.
So that's making it the complete system fairly unique.
Yeah. And how does this tool help farmers improve both sustainability and economic performance?
Yeah, that's a good one as well. It's on several aspects. Well, at first, farmers will be more efficient to show good environmental performance. So that's saving costs. Saving costs for sources like artificial fertilizer, feed and compound feed, so that's saving costs. On the other hand, if farmers are showing good performances, sustainability programs of our dairy companies will reward the farmers and pay extra bonuses. And that can go up to thousands of euros. And that's really money. And in the end, the environment is also having profit. Environmental pressure will be lower.
And what impact has the tool already had on the Dutch dairy farm sector so far, and what do you hope to achieve next?
Yes, well, the impact was great already, actually greater than I expected. Well, several things, several aspects. The impact is that it became mandatory for the dairy farmers. Dairy processors are paying bonuses for good performances, but also other companies or other organizations are using the system, like banks are using the system, also provinces and other projects rewarding the farmers if they have really good environmental performance. So that's really great achievement already. And well, what we hope for the near future is that the government will also adopt the ANCA system, or really at least parts of it, maybe for using for a goal-based policy, where we are all talking about in the Netherlands.